A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us for this evening's installment of Trendz Live, coming to you live from the SABC's headquarters in Auckland Park, Johannesburg. I'm Xolisi Masango. Welcome to it. Let's get the program started. So every year, the world's leading travel trade show, ITB Berlin, attracts professionals from the international tourism industry, including South African tourism officials, as well as operators. The trade show, which took place earlier this week, attracted travelers from over 160 countries.
South African tourism officials and operators were in Berlin, Germany this week to woo international travelers from over 160 countries. Every year in March, the world's leading travel trade show, ITB Berlin, attracts professionals from the international tourism industry. South Africa's beautiful landscapes and vibrant culture are a draw card for tourists from around the world. Hence, political leaders have been sending an unequivocal message that they are committed to creating a safer environment for all. They have announced concrete measures to push back against wanton criminals by implementing a range of measures to ensure the safety of both citizens and tourists. This was one of the key messages that the South African tourism sector took to ITB this week as the country moves to boost international tourism members. Deputy Minister of Tourism Fish Mahlalela led a diverse group of South African businesses, including small businesses.
It is a sector that we want to encourage more people to come and invest into it because of its economic yields, results that it can provide to society as a whole.
The trade show gave them an opportunity to showcase Destination South Africa in all its beauty and sustainable tourism products. The South African Tourism Agency is optimistic about this week's showing.
Our experience at ITB Berlin 2023 has been exciting. The stand has been very busy. Everybody is busy with meetings. So we are convinced that there's a lot of interest in the destination.
Now, this is something that has been happening for the past 3 days. That's the annual Moshoeshoe Walk that concluded today. The historic 3-day walk, which started this past Thursday, commemorates the legacy of the Basotho King Moshoeshoe I. It started in Monakoeng in the Leribe district and ends in Thaba Bosihu. The walk traces the path King Moshoeshoe I took while leading his people to safety. Producer Kiadimilwe Moalosi took part in the walk. Take a look.
We arrived at the beautiful kingdom of Lesotho 4 days ago. At the crack of dawn, the day after we arrived, we had already gathered to start the 116 kilometers walk, tracing back the initial King Moshoeshoe's path. First, we were given a brief history about the walk.
We are at Mekgwaneng, that's where King Moshoeshoe was born in 1786. Then he went to initiation school around the corner here at Malawan and Hasetsa. Then after he got married in 1810, he went to Botabote, that's where he got settled. Then when he was still there were fights between the tribes, so they decided to look for a better place. So then in 1824, they came back here during the harvest time. When they arrived here, then they started to harvest. After the harvest, they packed everything. So then they left here in 1824.
And that was followed by a welcome by the Lesotho's Prime Minister, who also took part in the walk. Along the way, we met interesting participants like 86-year-old Granny, who's a wellness and fitness advocate.
I started this walk about 5 years back. My blood pressure was high. So when I went to the clinic, the dietitian said I must take a walk, just a small walk and come back. So I enjoyed it. Hey, please please don't say the hip is painful. Try and walk just a small distance and then come back.
Before the sun went down, we had already reached our first day camping site. After just a 31-kilometer walk, many were very excited.
We had a group of people who were making it so easy. But tomorrow I'm going to have a longer distance now from 3 a.m. to 10 p.m. So I think that one is going to be more challenging. I'm perfectly ready for it. Perfectly ready for it.
This is a great experience. If you come here, you enjoy the walk. As that Rona, we are here to boost the morale. All those, but one of us in a morale, we boosted their morale.
But we really didn't know what awaited us the next day. At 3 a.m., we were already on our way, up and down the mountains. In and out streams we went. 8 kilometers later, we reached Lepetu Heritage Site, exhausted.
I must say that this is far tougher than the Comrades marathons. You know, I've done 21 Comrades marathon, but I have suffered yesterday, today. I'm not too sure whether I'm going to finish tomorrow, but I think I'm very determined. And I think we are keeping a very good morale.
This is my third Moshoeshoe Walk. Day 2 is tough, but I'm determined I'm going to finish it. We started too earlier than usual. We are not even halfway through. I'm hoping for rain. There's no rain, there's too much sun, but we are going to finish. So the spirit is very high.
On the last morning today, these outdoorsy feel more encouraged to complete this walk.
I'm going to reach Tawabusiu, like it or not. I have to. What I want to see is to see myself getting to Tawabusiu, still walking.
Good morning.
So staying with that story, we now take you live to Trendz live producer Kiadimile Moalosi, who's in Lesotho on the last day of the annual Moshoeshoe Walk. Now, the 3-day walk traces the path the Basotho King Moshoeshoe I took while leading his people to safety. Kia, thank you so much for your time this evening. It's great to chat again. So I'm keen on finding out what are some of your takeouts for these past 3 days, and what do you have for us over there?
Thank you, Mko. A very good evening to you. Of course, I am right now at Tababusiu Cultural Village. Now, this indicates the end, or should I say the conclusion of the 116 kilometers journey on foot. Just earlier, participants arrived here, and as you can see, it was already raining, and it is still now raining. Nonetheless, they were also addressed by some government officials, including the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Lesotho, Ntate Sem Matakane. But right now, I am joined by Ntate Thabo Maretlane to actually explain to us the importance of this specific walk. Ntate Maretlane, welcome to our show, and thank you so much for actually, right now we're standing in the rain. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, man. Let me greet your listeners. Yes.
Tell us why this specific destination, Tababusiu Cultural Village?
Okay, thank you very much. We are at the foothills of Tababusiu Cultural Village, and that's the most important part. That's where King Moshoeshoe put Basotho together as a nation. And the other important part, all the battles that King Moshoeshoe fought here at Tababusiu, not even one battle that he lost. And the other important issue about this place, it's a unique history about these wars that he fought. The most important war that he fought, it was the war in 1865 between the Boers, which was the leader of that platoon was Vepenar. He was killed there he was killed here at Tababusiu. So that's where the nation, Basotho nation, was built. So it is a very important place and a significant place for us.
So the walk started on Wednesday. Were there any challenges? Would you say this was a successful walk?
Yes, of course, there's always challenges. You can't pull 600 people on the ground, and we have lots of logistics that you have to go through, and you have to put them together. They have to eat, they have to sleep at safe places, they need security, they need a medical team, and everything went well so far. But we had the different climate, weather, because then it was very hot for the past 2 days. Only when we arrived at Thaba Bosiu, then there was showers. And you know, every time you go to Moshoeshoe, there's always rain. But I think apart from that, yeah, I want to thank everybody from Swaziland, Botswana, Malawi, Zimbabwe, South Africans and Botswanas. So it is important that at least we had a good time. But yeah, it was tough, my sister. Yeah, rough terrain, we cross rivers, uphill, downhills, and yeah, we climb mountains. You know, Hamahorana, it was a bit hectic. Yeah, there are some places that when you go, like, you know, am I going to make it to Thaba Bosiu? But we made it.
Yes, of course, you guys made it. All the participants, over 600 participants made it to Thaba Bosiu. But what is it that we can expect next year?
Okay, thank you very much. As the Prime Minister said, and as the organizers, we expect it's going to be 200 years centenary. So obviously there are some events that we are going to do. We're going to do the launch and do lots of events that we are going to do for next year. Apart from that, we are going to make sure that at least we do some charity for the Queen. Remember, the Queen, she's always there since close to 7 years now, and she's always supporting us. We said, okay, for this, let's do some charity work, do lots of things that you think at the end of the day, Basotho as a nation from that route, they can benefit. Even Basotho around Lesotho. We expect next year to do a big event that we are going to do, Manabatari, where we are going to Cape and Minkhwane for the whole week. So you can imagine. So don't miss that one. So everybody, we are inviting them for next year. The weekend before Moshoeshoe Walk, we are going to have a Manabatari lifestyle where we are going to camp. Then till the day we are going to start to walk on Thursday. So basically then from there, yeah, we invite everybody all over the world. Come to Lesotho next year, 200-year celebration.
Oh, well, there you have it, Trendz. You are all invited to this walk next year. And that's how we conclude the Moshoeshoe Walk 2023. It is back to you, studio.
Right, Gia, thank you so very much there for bringing us all the action there in Lesotho. That's Gia, our producer here on Trendz Live, bringing us all the action as it concludes there in Lesotho. Time now for a quick break. We're back with you straight after this. You're watching Trendz Live. Welcome back. So 150 years ago in the small village of Pedansac in France, a wine-based aperitif was created. This is a new variant of tastes to our palates. It is well known to be enjoyed at sunset with your mates before you have dinner. That is how the French enjoy it. This aperitif has reached South Africa, and our producer Silepe Maifadi was out there to find out more about what makes it so unique.
Hey Trenders, we're out in Johannesburg enjoying a beautiful afternoon with an inspired French vibe going on. So I'm here with Huli to tell us a bit more about what we're actually doing here today. How are you, Huli?
I'm wonderful, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Tell us about an aperitif. What is that?
So an aperitif is exactly what it says in the word, appetite. Ibula appetite. It is the drink you have before the drinks, you know. It is one that you can enjoy on a midday afternoon, something that you can enjoy after a long day at work. It really is for any time, anywhere. And it's so exciting to have this one in particular, Lillet Rosé, in South Africa. And that's what we're doing here today.
It's somewhat of a wine, but that can be had with a tonic, and I'm like, how?
So what it is that it is a French wine-based aperitif. So yes, wine is a part of the process, and Lillet Rosé, the rosé is the one that we've got in South Africa at the moment, and you can enjoy it in various ways, but the perfect serve is exactly what you said. 1 part Lillet Rosé, 2 parts tonic, or garnishinyana, when a limey, when a grapefruity, or a timey on top, and it's just perfect. But if you do want to enjoy it just, you know, with the rocks, you can do that, but we think the perfect serve is the one with the tonic.
Yeah. Tell us about this culture. I mean, how does that happen? What is behind this thing of, okay, you're gonna drink something before you actually have your main meal? Where does that come from?
You know, it's a good question. Like, it's a French culture of really loving to sharing moments. So, you know, before to have to eat, like really having really good times with people and explaining what happened in your day. And you are not eating, you know, because when you are eating, of course, you cannot speak. So it's really a great moment for us. Aperitif is most of the time after work. You stand with your friends, you are sharing some drinks and sharing your stories and laughing, and it's a great moment.
They spoke about responsible drinking and how South Africa is basically peaking in the stats of not being as responsible as we should be. Yeah. And we know we like to emphasize whole line stomach before what's the drinks.
Important.
So when ever no line stomach also plus.
So walaina mara also importantly unwa. You know, the two go hand in hand, drinking more water and really enjoying, you know, our alcohol and enjoying our pastime is where the balance is about. And then also in responsible drinking, it's about not drinking and driving. You know, there are options out there from e-hailing, whatever service it is that you choose to use, having a designated driver. Perhaps there's a friend that is not going to be drinking tonight and they're the ones that drive you home, or finding someone go high or latang. That's what it is about. We're not saying don't enjoy yourself. We're just saying do so more responsibly.
Guys, honestly, we all continue. Why vibes.
Why munati summer to winter ke rona bao.
Exactly. And as we're heading into autumn, we're still saying you can still catch the sunset, have your aperitif moment, and have some fun. You know, drink on, but responsibly.
Please, please.
So welcome back. Time now for our live act feature. One of South Africa's rising stars, Sitenko Simbuli, otherwise known as Rudy Chalmers, is back again with his highly anticipated single titled Picture Frame. Like many music lovers, he grew up listening to music, exposed to different genres that influenced the way his album sounds. We know he's spent a lot of time crafting his sound, and today he joins us to speak about the kind of music he produces and how he describes it. Rudy, welcome to Trendz.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Right, great to have you. So speak to us about your sound, because I understand it's quite distinct.
Yeah, it's quite distinct, and I feel like it's growing every single day. My roots are in hip-hop. That's where I found my love for music. That's where I was based. But as I grew as an instrumentalist, as I grew as a guitar player, I started experimenting with my singing voice. So in terms of the sound, I would describe it as very soulful, hip-hop inspired with an alternative flavor due to my guitar playing and the way that ends up sounding.
So when exactly did you start making music?
I've been making music since I was 14 years old. Mm-hmm. That's when I started taking it seriously. Mm-hmm. I had a conversation with an older friend of mine, somebody who I looked up to. He was kind of like a role model to me. And I loved his taste in music, and he taught me so much about music. So one day I was randomly freestyling in my room, and my sister took a video of it and sent it to him. And he sent me a message afterwards saying, if this is really you freestyling, then you should take music seriously. And I was in grade 8 at that point. So I think since then, in my own mind, I've been a musician. So that was kind of like the turning point for me. And that's when I just decided to give it my all.
Yeah. So for some of our viewers that don't know, you are the late Vuyambuli's son, right?
Yes.
So I want to know, how has this worked for you or worked against you in the industry? Or you're trying to shy away from all of that to carve your own path?
I think it's a mixture of both. You know, I think I'm undeniably influenced by my dad, and my dad was probably the biggest music lover that I knew. You know, all sorts of genres, ranging from like, you know, historic gospel. He used to play Soli Moholo in the car to like listening to P. Diddy. You know, his ringtone was P. Diddy. So I'm very inspired by him, and I think the way I try and live my life, even if it's unintentionally, ends up being somewhat inspired by him. You know, so I like the fact that he kind of carved a path that I can branch out of in a way and look for my own road through that. So I guess when people see me and I remind them of my father, I see that as a positive thing.
Let's speak about inspiration. I know you talk at length about getting inspired. Where do you draw your inspiration from as a musician?
Mainly from other musicians and other creators and other people who speak about the experience of creating and how it can sometimes be tedious, it can sometimes be draining, it can sometimes feel like you're hitting your head against the wall. But I think I love seeing people do what they love to do. I think that is something that inspires me incredibly. Seeing somebody, whether they are a handyman or in finance, you know, if they're living with a passion for what they do and you can see that they love it, that's incredibly inspiring.
All right, so any collaborations coming up, and where can we catch you?
You can catch me on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. I'm planning some live shows coming up in Cape Town at the end of the month. One in the works at a restaurant called Kaya Cafe.
Yeah.
And features are very much so in the works, but that the audience will find out at a later date.
All right, I'll leave you to it. Ladies and gentlemen, Rudy Chalmers once again. Enjoy.
No, I don't ever want to walk a different road, but I might have to one day. Take a private flight with you and eat some liver pate. Could you sip that champagne for me? Stick to the wave. I know that you have your day with me, but if it's not meant to be, would you still look for me, or would you fly away? Take a bird and fly away. But if I get close to you, would you let it be so true that we could fly away, baby? But listen, I like you, I write to you. Something about your super magic mystic gaze. You should be in picture frames with me. I like you, I write to you. Something about your super magic mystic gaze. You should be in picture frame with me. But it used to be so simple, baby. Taking walks by the riverside and looking you in the eyes. But now it's so crazy. Somebody please save me from this pot of lies. The pot of gold is on my mind. But if I get lost, you could be my black Kate Mouse or my white Kate Mouse. If I was an ace of spades, would she be my queen of hearts? But I like you, alright, to you, baby. I like you, alright, listen. I like you, alright, to you. Something about your super magic mystic gaze. You should be in picture frame with me. I like you, alright, to you. Something about your super magic mystic gaze. You should be in picture frame with me. Whoa, oh, picture frame. Tell me what's your name, my baby. Let's get pictures framed. Let's go get pictures framed. Oh, picture framed. Just tell me what's your name, my baby. Let's get pictures framed. Let's go get. Okay, look. Let's take a picture and frame it, just so that we know that we did. And if something ever could happen, we could hold it and think about the good times, memories, life that we lived. But it's getting pretty complex lately. I'm out here thinking about the guy that I made. Thinking about